Dorsey, and I'm honored to be the pastor of St. Catherine of Siena in Mendon and the Church of Transfiguration in Pittsburgh. As many of you hopefully are aware of, we've been talking about a new program to enliven our faith communities, and we're calling it Strengthening the Vine, that we could look at how we want to continue to make our parish robust and alive in all the facets of stewardship. You know the three tenets of stewardship: time, talent, and treasure. The time we bring to our liturgies, our prayer with one another, and the enrichment they bring to our hearts and souls individually, but collectively as a community. Talents, the gifts that we bring to our faith community that enlivens all the ministries that mean so much to us, not only in our parish, but wider in the community outside our doors. And of course, treasure. Our giving that supports all our vital programs, our beautiful gathering places, and the future that we desire to share with our families, our friends, and new people who are searching and looking to be part of a wonderful community like our own. I'm very happy to introduce my good friend here, who's our finance director for both our parishes, Dan Hofford.
All right, hey everybody, Dan Hofford here. So I want to give you some good news to start off with. The CMA, we are very close to meeting our goal, roughly $5,000 away. And if we sell all the raffle tickets like we did last year for that beautiful desk by Bob Gruber, we will meet our goal. So be sure to get your tickets as they're going fast. The settlement, victim settlement fund. So we did take $210,000 out of our stable patrimony that is currently sitting in our checking account. We're waiting for another check where we're essentially borrowing another $10,000 from our facilities fund. That will go into the checking account hopefully this week. Before June 1st, we will cut a check to the escrow account that has been set up for the parishes, and apparently the judge wants to know that we collectively have the funds, and that will help the proceedings move forward. The deficit. Back in February, we had mentioned we were looking at a potentially $70,000 operating deficit. Some more good news, we've closed that gap. Right now it's looking more like $40,000. So we're getting there. And that was actually through March 31st. So hopefully once April's numbers are reconciled, it'll look even better. So some of the things that we've done to address the deficit this year and as we go forward, Crawford Butler is no longer with us. That position will now be staffed by volunteers. So we do want to thank Crawford for his 20 years of service and wish him well in his next endeavor. We're also looking at all of our contracts. For example, we'll be saving roughly $2,000 a year on a new copier lease. We've also slightly raised our wedding and funeral fees for the cantors and musicians and things of that sort to just make sure that we're covering our costs. Similarly, we've done the same thing with rentals. So if a parishioner or somebody from the community wants to use the community center, we're covering our costs and maybe even making a little bit. We're not a real estate company. We're not going to promote that. But if we're going to use it, we're going to make sure it's done right. I do want to make a note about when we talk about the operating deficit, and let's say we end the year with a $40,000 deficit, that does not necessarily mean we're taking an additional $40,000 from savings. In reality, that money has already come out of savings or more accurately, our unrestricted assets. If you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out. Some other things we're doing as part of this initiative is just looking at how we do things internally as a staff primarily. So what are we doing? We're cleaning up our chart of accounts to make it easier for us to talk about money. We are reorganizing our filing system. We're looking at everybody's job description and revising those and updating those where necessary. We're creating org charts so everybody's on the same page. That's just a sampling of some of the things we've been working We are also working on the budget for this coming fiscal year. Now, unfortunately, there will be significant increases in our building insurance, utilities, and health insurance. So that's why it's really important that people are increasing their offering, and that's why we've asked. We have had some other wins. Several parishioners have come forward giving essentially back offerings. They've said, hey, I wasn't able to give these last 2 or 3 years for whatever reason, so here's all that giving. And other people just already began increasing their giving. We've got one parishioner that has come to us and said, hey, I know some folks in the community and would probably really like to give to the church. So we're working with him to set those meetings up. We've got another parishioner who has stepped forward and says, hey, I want to be involved and support online advertising. So it's another avenue that we are exploring. So some really great stuff happening, and we talked about short-term and long-term. This is all short-term. We're going to get through these next couple months, and then I think we can sit down and really start looking at the long-term and revisiting everything from vision, mission, goals, and unique identities, and then saying, what are we going to do to reach out to everybody in the community and beyond? So good stuff. Thank you guys. If you have questions, be sure to reach out to myself or Father Rob, or just call the office.
I'm very grateful. Dan is part of our parish pastoral staff now. He's done wonderful things and observations to help enhance and nurture this vine we're talking about and to grow in our life of stewardship. Between St. Catherine's and the Church of Transfiguration, his gifts and talents are certainly blessing us for a fruitful, vibrant future. So thank you, Dan. And thank you, everyone who is listening, looking at this, sharing this day. I appreciate it very much. I ask you to join me in continuing our prayerful considerations of how we can keep our faith community vibrant and alive. Just so you know, too, because I think it's important, I'm not just asking you to think about time, talent, and treasure. I pray about my own time, talents, and treasure that I want to bring to our faith communities. Personally, I've made a decision to increase my weekly giving or monthly giving by 15%. So I know that may be a lot for many people. Hey, get a pre-salary. It could be a lot for me too. But anyways, so I just ask you to think about it, and whatever you can do, God love you. And I'm glad we're here together. Take care and God bless.